So let's get into the news tonight. Very, very tragic thing that's in the breaking news tonight. It has been updated that the man that actually set himself on fire is now passed away. And I just, it's just horrible to see this happen to anybody.
Yes.
But then especially when you think about why he was doing it, it's military. Okay, this man, the man who filmed and live streamed his protest of the Israeli military action in Gaza, has been taken to a hospital with life-threatening injuries. The U.S. Air Force confirmed he was active duty airman. And actually, I really, thankfully, it was blurred out when he set himself on fire, but I actually watched the video, and it was extremely tragic. The Metropolitan Police Department in Washington identified the man as Aaron Bushnell, 25, of San Antonio. A U.S. Air Force spokesman said that he confirmed on Sunday night that he was active duty airman. And if you watch the video, then you heard him saying as he's walking up to the embassy, I am about to do something very extreme. It is going to be bad, but it's nothing compared to what is being done by the Israeli people to the people of Gaza. And then, of course, he keeps trying to light himself on fire, y'all, and it would not light. It was like grace. The grace of God just kept trying to stop him.
Yes.
And then you could hear people going, can I help you? Can I help you? They were trying to stop him, and he just kept on and kept on. And, Lord, I don't want to be graphic, but when it fully engulfed, and thankfully, like I said, it was blurred out, you could hear that he had regretted his decision. He was screaming out in pain.
Yes.
And then, of course, he collapsed. And now he's gone. And so look, I understand why he was doing that, but here's my question.
Yeah.
That's demonic. What in the world would cause somebody to think that setting themselves on fire is going to make any kind of difference in this, in what his gripe was? It's still going to go on, and now he's gone.
Exactly. I mean, we've seen people chain themselves to trees and doors and all kinds of things through the years just to make a statement. But this was so extreme, and obviously it ended up taking his life. You know, it's great to want to protest or make a statement, but to do something so extreme that takes your life, I mean, where was this person's, mental state? And we all hate what's going on. Yeah. We all hate the fact that many things are happening and the way it's happening, but guess what? This is war.
Yeah, right. It's war.
There's not a script that we have where things just play out and everything goes to plan. Yeah. No.
Well, there is a script, but it ain't the kind of script you're talking about. The war is war, but there is people that's got a script globally, and that's what we're talking about tonight.
Yes.
And part of that script is mentally deranging people. And to where they would think that this is somehow going to make a difference. This is not going to make a difference. This is not going to move Netanyahu. He might make a statement. This is not going to move the military of Israel. Quite frankly, you might hear some political statements come out of the White House because of their fickleness that are as far as Israel right now. Right. But this is not going to change anything. He's gone now. He's gone. He has basically taken his own life for a cause that he's not going to be able. And the reason we showed this, number one, is breaking news. But number two, this is the extreme rise of demonic and the mental problems that we have in this country are about to be really, really magnified. When you see the school shootings, you see all these kind of things, the bottom line, there's two things involved. Demons are involved because the devil is real, and there's mental illness involved.
And guess what? As horrible as this is, how many people are talking about his cause and his message versus how many people are talking about, dude, did you see that footage?
Yeah, right. That's all they're talking about.
I mean, and that's just sickening to me. The whole thing is just heartening. It's terrible.
It is sickening. Yeah. Thank you to all the people that are live and active in that live chat tonight. I'm already seeing some huge live. So here's another breaking news thing that's happening. This could weigh heavily on the world in which we live in. Today and tomorrow, the Supreme Court is listening to the arguments, and they are weighing the constitutionality of laws regulating the social media giants. NetChoice is an entity that is representing Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and others. And listen to this. This is the details of it. The Supreme Court is hearing oral arguments on February 26th in two big social media cases that could have wide-ranging implications on how companies like Facebook can moderate or censor content. Moody versus NetChoice and NetChoice versus Paxton are coming before the court in dispute over Texas and Florida's social media laws. The state's attempts are to rein in big tech laid out many perimeters for how companies could remove content they found objectionable. NetChoice is an organization representing multiple social media companies and has sued, alleging that both laws violate the company's First Amendment rights. The group has likened their activities to those of a newspaper making editorial decisions about which content to include in the publication. That's ridiculous.
Unpack this for us. I mean,
yeah.
My mind is running rampant of what this could really mean, but just walk us down this path.
What it means is that Florida and Texas have instituted laws in the state that bar Facebook from shadow banning. Florida bars shadow banning. We are highly shadow banned.
Yes.
And there's just no doubt about it. I mean, we have tested it. We have confirmed it.
Yes, you have.
It is not conspiracy. So Florida has said the posts that are made from within that zip code, within that geographical area of Florida cannot be shadow banned by these social media platforms. Texas has said that basically along the lines there, but that they don't have a right to remove someone's post that they don't agree with. Now, Facebook, Meta, and all these others are pushing back and saying, hey, you didn't have a problem when the editorial board of the New York Times, somebody submitted a story and they chose not to run it. Well, I get what they're saying, but you know what? Wake up, Meta. Yep. We don't live in the New York Times world anymore. This is the world of social media. This is the world of the independent journalist. You don't have control over the internet. So what they're really doing, Sandy, is this is perfectly timed to give them censorship abilities, what they're fighting for.
At a specific time?
At a specific time as we go closer and closer to the election.
Exactly. This is fascinating to me that, I love that these two states are speaking out so loudly. If that were even possible, if they were to win their argument or whatever you want to say, what kind of technology do you have that they get their problem that they have met,
right?
That they get their way, I guess you want to say. What do they have to do to make sure that nothing is censored out or whatever, but yet all the other ones are basically? That's what you're saying,
That's
right?
Exactly right.
Okay.
Exactly right. And basically the reason this is huge for shows like this. This is huge for our church.
And we're not moving to Florida or Texas.
No, we sweet home Alabama.
We're staying right here, y'all.
Yeah, y'all. Now, the skies used to be blue, but now they're filled with chemtrails.
I'm not believing I heard you say that. Y'all, he was a chemtrail denier for just a minute.
Hey.
But he's been fully red-pilled, and I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, you've done good, man.
Thank you.
I brought you into the ministry, and you brought me into the awakeness of the real world.
Thank you, Dane Wigington, geoengineeringwatch.org.
No, yeah. Okay, so this has huge implications because if they rule in the favor of this company, NetChoice, then that's a blanket censorship approval to these companies.
Right.
I can't remember what it's called. It's like Section 301 or 201. When the internet was first created, the government gave them a bypass, and this is what they did. They said social media companies are not publishers, so they are not required to go by the laws that govern publishers. So they've always quoted that 201 or 301 amendment of whatever it is. And because they just feel like they're God. It's a God mentality. It's I am God. I can choose what you believe. Because nowadays it's different than the New York Times. When you used to get your local paper, came out once a day in the morning, and then you opened it up and read it, and then in 5 o'clock news in the afternoon, that's it. Now, this is not just news. This is programming.
Yes.
This is taking people's minds and turn them into mush and molding them into whatever you want to believe.
Opinionating, a lot of influence, all of that. So let's just hypothesize here. Let's say they win, and then all of a sudden,
Which one? The social media company?
yes.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, others want to start piling on or whatever. I mean, we are just getting at each other's throats at every level now,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's politics. It's sports.
Yeah.
I mean, we just came out of, how long did that strike last in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Where they were, in contention with each other. I mean, it's just on almost every level.
Yeah. But they sense their power being taken away from them. And that's the premise of this entire show. There's not everything, but almost everything we're going to show you tonight is the shifting of the power away from the elites, and then also on the flip side, how they are quickly gathering their power and just circling together. Now, there was a huge death that happened today in the world of the elites. And that was the big name, the Rothschilds, that you hear so much about on shows like this, but never hear anything about in the regular world. So this is one of the big dogs here. He was 87 years old. British financier Jacob Rothchild is gone at 87. Now, look, I don't ever want to speak evil of the dead, but here's the reality of this. This man was an orchestrator of a demonic elite program, and I'm sure I'm getting flagged left and right, and I don't care at this point. But it needs to be made very clear. God can save anyone. Okay?
Certainly.
If they call on him, God can save anyone. His grace is more than anything can be done. But unless this man repented that we don't know of, and that's between him and God, he is probably regretting his life right now, because he in fact, I believe the Rothschilds believed and have invested in, experimented with abilities to live forever. They probably thought they were going to live forever. Now, there's not a whole lot coming out about him, but all this report says is just reports are coming in that British financier Lord Jacob is dead at 87. Now, Sandy, long before I knew who the Rothschilds were, you knew who they were.
Yes.
So what is your comment on this?
Listen, we're talking about going back hundreds of years of bloodline and lineage and long game planning and control. We're talking about probably his great-great-great-grandfather hatched a plan way back.
Yep.
And raised and educated his adult sons and sent them out into different countries to get a foothold, control over, finances, over banking, over money, basically, because they knew if they could control the money, they could control people, and literally sent his sons into different parts of the world to begin empire building. So you're talking about unbelievable amounts of money, and it's not just money. When you get to this level, money is really not a factor, because you're owning so much real estate, so much art, so much gold and silver. I mean, it's just on a level we can't comprehend. So you're not talking about your average multimillionaire has passed away here. You're talking about someone who comes from a long bloodline through centuries, whose reach spans the globe, who is political, who is powerful.
Look at this picture. This just sums up what you're talking about. This Marina Abramovic, I can't say her name. Abramovic. I mean,
she's
how
a spirit cooker.
She is evil. In fact, believe it or not, this woman was picked to be the Ukrainian by Zelensky to be an ambassador or an advisor to the Ukrainian government. She is demon possessed. She is a witch. She is a confessed witch. And look who's standing next to her. The man that we're talking about, Rothschild. And look at the picture that they're standing in front of. This is a very well-known picture, and it is called Satan Summoning His Legions, and they chose Rothschild and this demon-possessed witch that has spoken at the UN and has spoken before powerful governments, that is summons demons. Of all the pictures that they chose to take a picture together with, smiling, is in front of a picture called Satan Summoning His Legions. So the Rothschild family is a bloodline, as you spoke of, that goes back demonically way, way back.
Way, way back. And as a matter of fact, Rothschild is believed, their name is believed to be Red Shield.
Wow.
We're talking about, like I said, going way, way back. And you're talking about kingmakers. You're talking about people that help plan and decide when and how long wars will last. And
Right. Yeah.
this kind of power and control. So money, these kind of people, they don't necessarily think about money. They think about power, ruling over people, controlling people, because they already own so much real estate and everything else.
Yeah.
They're legacy people.
And, we talk so much about World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and all this. One of the ones we won't talk enough about is the Bilderberg Society and all these other kind of things.
Yes.
They are the orchestrators of that. The Bohemian Grove, all this kind of stuff. They are involved in that. In fact, it's one of these guys that that I follow. I don't even know his real name, but it's Luke We Are Change is his YouTube channel. Very bold. He actually confronted Mr. Rothschild that just passed away on the streets. And
Is this a video several years old? I believe I've seen this.
it's a few years old. And he confronted him and asked him, what did they discuss at the Bilderberg Society this year? And he
was dumbfounded.
He was just like, I've never been there. This is what he said. He goes, what are you talking about? And he goes, no, you were there. And he goes, no, that was my cousin. That was my cousin. Ooh. And he just kept on and kept on and kept on. But then at the end, as he's about to get in the car, Luke hollers out at him and says, I want you to know that we don't buy into your lies and your power. You've lost your power. We're rising up. And he's just smiling and laughing the whole time. When he said that, he turned and gave him the most evil look, like something manifested when his power was challenged. One more thing before we move off of this. Mm-hmm. It is believed that this family is the richest family to ever exist in the history of humanity.
You're talking about into the trillions?
Into the trillions of dollars.
I wouldn't doubt it. Here's the thing that I've always heard. It's the people whose names you don't know who are at the highest levels. Right. But I've also heard along with that Rothschilds are right up there. But here's another thing. These people believe that they come from basically fallen angels.
Yep.
That part of their bloodline and lineage, now, yes, we're talking about centuries later after the fact, but they believe in their bloodline that they have some of that fallen angel DNA. They think that, they're going to rule and reign, that they already do rule and reign over us. Yes. But that their great day is coming, and it's all about Georgia Guidestones and reduce the population down to 500 million people. Well, if that ruling class is at the top, there's not going to be very many of the others left. Right. And those that are left will be their serfs and their servants. So it's just an evil and a diabolical thing, and it's a plan they think they're going to get away with.
And if y'all didn't know that we was in Sandy's wheelhouse, if I'm saying that correctly, then now. This is.
I'm sure I have many friends out there.
Yes. Well, I 100% agree with you, babe. You have convinced me, and I'm all in.
I've worked really hard, so thank you for that.
You did good. Well, it's official. Sweden they are publicly saying will join NATO. Which has been a threat and a blow to Russia.
How many months ago were we talking about this?
Several months. Hungary was blocking it.
They were blocking it. They really wanted it. They were just, a little, disappointed that it didn't happen. But the article ended on, we'll revisit this in the future. Well, the future is now, right?
Exactly.
So here we go.
Hungary is finally letting Sweden into the military alliance, dealing a blow to Russia. It goes on to say Sweden cleared the final hurdle to become the military alliance's 32nd member after Hungary, the last holdout among the countries, held a parliamentary vote to approve the move. In recent years, Russia's invasion of Ukraine pushed Sweden away from its decades of military non-alignment and towards the world's biggest military alliance. Sweden's ascension comes amidst increasing uncertainty over NATO's future. as the Republican frontrunner in the U.S. presidential race, Donald Trump threatens to abandon security guarantees for at least part of Europe, basically if they don't pay their bills. Budapest finally made the move on Monday with the parliament voting 188-6 in favor of the resolution. Now, I want to get down here and dig down in here and see if I can find this one comment here. Well, first I want to read this. Moscow has threatened Sweden and Finland since both countries decided to turn towards NATO. Since the two Nordic countries began the process to join the alliance, the West has tightened its grip on the Baltic Sea, complicating a vital transit route for the Russian Navy. And I'm going to see if this is where I can find this. I want to read this one thing too. Well, it's not in here. But I forgot what the concessions that they had to make. I'll have to find that. But the bottom line is this. Hungary had a lot of oppositions to it. Now they've agreed to it. NATO is going to bring them in.
Mm-hmm. What do you think happened in those months between when we first started talking about this and now?
A lot of deals have been made. A lot of promises have been made that we really, really don't want to know. We want to know.
We want to know.
But we ain't going to know.
You're not going to know.
We're never going to know. But so that's a big thing. That's just a news item. Some of these things we hit to let you know this is coming. Because NATO, of course, you know the motto of NATO is this. If you attack one country in NATO, you attack all the countries in NATO. So you got to understand how you say, well, what's Sweden to me? What's Finland to me? What's this to me? Well, if your country that you're watching this in is in NATO, then what it means is if Russia decides to invade Finland or attack Sweden or any NATO country, then we are by charter that we have signed an agreement, at the very least, supposed to provide finances and weapons. And quite frankly, if you're America and you're the UK and some others, you're supposed to provide people.
Well, guess what? If you're counting on America, we don't have any more weapons.
Yep.
We've sent them all to the Ukraine.
Yep.
So
and we can't get new soldiers because nobody wants to join the army.
Nobody wants to join. So don't be counting on us. Maybe in name only. So you're going to have to count on these other folks that are in NATO.
It's a sad
NATO.
reputation that we have in the world right now.
We are a laughing stock.
We really are.
It breaks my heart.
Now, look, I don't want to go to war with anybody.
No.
But at the same time, America should be respected globally, and we're not respected globally.
No.
Well, here's another reason why we're not respected globally. Pompeo, most of you know Pompeo from the Trump administration, has criticized Biden, and some of you may not know this, for reversing the United States stance against Jewish settlements and now calling them openly illegal.
How quickly we've turned.
Absolutely. The Biden administration has officially labeled settlements as illegal and revoked the Pompeo Doctrine, highlighting its opposition to Israel's plans to construct 3,000 new homes in Judea and Samaria. Ladies and gentlemen, if you did not know where Judea and Samaria is, it's in Israel. Judea and Samaria is in Israel. And if you're a believer in Jesus Christ and you've ever heard of the Great Commission, you've heard go into all the world and preach the gospel.
Yes.
In Jerusalem, Judea, and the uttermost part, and Samaria, and the uttermost parts of the earth. So this is a command from God. Jesus claimed Judea and Samaria was a part of the Jewish belief system, of the Jewish place. Now watch this. The move drew sharp criticism from Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State under the Trump administration, who condemned the declaration that the new settlement homes are inconsistent with international law. We're disappointed in the announcement, and U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said Friday during a joint press conference in Buenos Aires referencing Israel's announcement to build 3,000 new homes in Judea and Samaria. And so it just goes on and on, back and forth, back and forth. So the bottom line is this. You remember when October 7th happened, President Biden, Blinken, all of them came in and said, you do what you got to do, Israel.
Yes.
You do what you got to do. Within 2 weeks, it was already starting to crack.
It was. And
now they are absolutely opposed to what anything is happening to eliminating Hamas. And now they're coming forth and saying, oh, wait a minute. What we really meant was, go in there and do a little bit, then get out. And then, by the way, don't build any more settlements. And if you'll remember, during the George Bush administration, there were settlements in Gaza, and Israel agreed to get out. They 100% got out. There was not a single Jewish person. There is not a single Jew living in Gaza, but there are multiple Palestinians living in the rest of Israel.
Yes,
And
of course,
so-
and have been
Yes.
for a long time. Even in the walled city in Jerusalem,
Yes.
they have shops. They live together. They work together. They've, at least those have found a way to be peaceable with each other for the sake of their families because they're all crammed right there in, the confines of Jerusalem. But here's an observation that I want to make. Obviously, we've had Netanyahu say, want them all out, every last one of them. Egypt's right across the border. They don't want to take them.
Right.
Then, do you not have Jared Kushner and Osama bin help me out?
Salman? I don't know. How to
Bin
say
Salman?
Bin Salman. I don't know how to say his name.
That are they not trying to develop this ocean front property even all the way down into Gaza?
Yeah.
So you're talking about Saudi Arabia.
Gaza has beautiful beachfront.
Sure. How
That
valuable.
could be a resort.
How valuable this property must be. You've got a lot of irons in this fire. You got a lot of hands working. And so what is about to happen in our country, here we are just trying to tell everybody what to do all over the world like we've always done, not wanting to accept the fact that we're a paper tiger and nobody respects us anymore and it's all crumbling. The ground is crumbling underneath our feet. So what is about to happen over there?
Yeah, I want to read this one last statement, this tweet, X, whatever you call it, from Mike Pompeo. This just sort of sums it up, and I agree with him. Judea and Samaria are rightful parts of the Jewish homeland, and Israelis have a right to live there. President Biden's decision to overturn our policy and call Israeli settlements illegal will not further the cause of peace. It rewards Hamas for its brutal attacks on October 7th and punishes Israel instead. These Israeli communities are not standing in the way of peace. Militant Palestinian terrorism is. I mean, that's spot on in my opinion. Spot on.
I believe that. And still the tunnels are not all destroyed and still the hostages are not all released. And this thing goes on and on and on. It has so many layers.
Yep.
How is a resolution going to be found?
Right. Well, you not only have what's going on in Gaza, you have that other people have joined the fray, and the Houthi rebels and the Houthi Muslims are really stepping it up. Yeah.
And this is just some of the things that you can do when you have a lot of money backing you.
Absolutely. Right.
So get ready for this next story.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder if you heard this on the news. Reports are coming out that the Houthis, the Muslims there, they're known as the Houthi rebels, but the Houthi Muslim terrorist group has now severed one of many. We talked about this the other night. This is not the main one, but a huge one. Has severed undersea communication cables linking Europe and Asia. Wow. The Iran-backed Houthi terrorist group knocked out 4 undersea communication cables linking Saudi Arabia and Djibouti. A report by an Israeli news outlet claimed Monday the submarine cables were struck out of commission through the sabotage in recent months, alleged Israel's news outlet Globes. Telecom firms linked to the Yemen government have previously said that they fear Houthi rebels are planning to sabotage a network of seafloor cables in the Red Sea, critical to the functioning of the Western Internet and the transmission of financial data. Ladies and gentlemen, it's so easy. It's so easy for people that are watching in America, Europe, and different places of the world to think that's the Middle East. I mean, it's always been like that. But you're talking about you sever these cables?
Yes.
These cables. By the way, everybody, we've been trained to think the internet is just out there. And it's just
satellite.
It's satellite. It's in the air. No, it travels globally still on cables. The entire ocean is filled with cables. There's cables. They're trying to take the shortest route, but they can't just have air delivery of the internet and depend on that when that can just be blocked by a solar flare or something. The internet's functioning database, I should say infrastructure, is still wired.
Sure.
And many of these go across this Red Sea, of which the Houthi rebels is shooting ships in the Red Sea, and now they're going underneath and cutting cables, Sandy, that could create more chaos than bombs.
And we don't think about this. Quite frankly, I'm sitting here going through my mind. Have I seen this in a movie before? Have we seen a James Bond or some kind of movie where, some bad actors were attacking some important infrastructure like that? But most of the bad things that we see happening, we've already seen in the movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying that. But yes, we are so distracted and we're so just all over the place. We don't think about the basic infrastructure that, like you said, we're relying on just hard wiring and cables, not just full satellite communication. Right,
exactly. And look, let's go back to this article. So I want to dig down just a little bit further here. It says the AAE1 cable, listen to this, connects. This is the data point that connects East Asia to Europe via Egypt, connecting China to the West through countries such as Pakistan and Qatar. The Europe-India Gateway cable connects Southern Europe to Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Djibouti. What in the world? Never heard of Djibouti. Have you ever heard of Djibouti? Am I saying that right? I think I'm saying it right.
Is that just Djibouti? Djibouti?
I think you're right.
But so
did you?
Okay,
I think the D is silent.
You're giving us a breakdown of these different cables. Which one did it say was cut?
These were all cut.
So all of these
are 4 cables. These are all the 4. Wait, let me finish this and then you make that comment. The CCOM cable connects Europe, Asia, and is connected to South Africa. Meanwhile, the immediate harm will be felt by Gulf states, India, all of these. So there were 4 cables. Now, go ahead with your thoughts.
I was just going to say, can you understand what all and who all and how this would affect them? In your mind, are you understanding?
Let's just break it down here. It's one of the cables connects China with the West.
Yes.
I want you to think about that. Something happens. China launches an attack or looks like it's going to launch an attack. They get a notification that missiles are being armed towards Taiwan or something like that. And America or someone in the West is trying to communicate with China and to try to stop a World War III, and they can't communicate. Then you've got all these other countries that we just listed that can't communicate because so many things now are communicated through internet. Now, of course, I know they have backup systems, but the quickest way is they want to be able to track things, data points, all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, this is just the Houthis just saying, "Hey, we're going to make Israel pull back out of Gaza. This is what this is all about." But there are other forces that are in place saying, "What's coming? What we've got planned? World War III." This is a part of the chaos part of that movie, Leave the World Behind, and the real world that we're living in. That's what this is a part of. This is the disruption of communication in the midst of chaos.
Okay, so I don't know if this article is the same as another one that I was looking at earlier. Go on. Now we know what has happened. Well, somebody would say, well, just fix it. Just go fix it. So does this article go on further to say that there are limitations to, we need to talk about that?
Let's look at this. Let's look at that. Speaking of the terms that you're talking about. The repair of such a large number of underwater cables may take at least 8 weeks, according to estimates, and involve exposure to risk from Houthi terror organizations.
Hello.
So you go down there and start trying to fix it, you're going to get killed.
Yes.
The BBC reported earlier this month, Yemen's legitimate UN-recognized government in Aden, blah, blah, blah. The warning came after a channel link that the Houthis on the Telegram messaging app posted a map showing undersea cables routes in the Red Sea. These are fiber optic cables. Have you ever seen a fiber optic cable? It is like a hair. And if you ever hear of a truck or something running into, in our country, I've seen this happen a couple of times, where they run into a substation on the side of the road that's filled with all these fiber optic cables that are feeding
I've
homes.
seen that happening a lot lately, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
exactly. And what happens then is everybody's system's down for a long time, because it's not just like, cutting a wire and putting a wire nut on it. I mean, these are thousands of little tiny wires that have to be connected.
So you're saying it's intricate work. It's got to be done probably under the water, unless in cases you can bring it up, repair it, drop it back down. Are there limitations on what insurance providers are willing to do to allow people to go out there and to cover them? I thought I was even reading an element of that in another story, but this is just crazy. Okay, it's off the chart. You're going to cause this damage. God only knows when or how it's going to be able to be fixed, and the number of people that it could affect, and the types of situations that it could affect. I mean,
this is huge.
As if we didn't have enough chaos already.
Yeah, but look, let's go back to the fact this is war. And in war, people do things to harm other countries' ability to do war.
Sure.
And so the Houthis are thinking, hey, everybody, all these people that are supporting Israel, well, guess what? We'll just turn your internet off. We'll turn your communication off. We'll create chaos. And then you come back, and then you put your boats in the Red Sea, and we'll shoot them with missiles, and we'll sink them, or we'll send out rebels to board the ships and take over them. I mean, it's just the Red Sea. Come on, the thing that Moses parted and walked across. The Red Sea is a place of terror. It is. The Houthi rebels have it completely on lockdown, and now they're cutting cables. But if you remember, right here on the big picture, it was either last week or the week before, when we didn't even think about there were multiple cables down there. The largest communication internet cable in the world that communicates one side of the world to the other goes through the Red Sea as well. And they cut that one. If they do, I don't know if they will, because if they do that, there might be nations declare war against Yemen if they do that, because one of the things, think about it before we move off this article that we just read, is that many of these cables are used for financial trades between countries. Money.
You want to start affecting people's money, it's going to get ugly quickly.
Exactly.
But, before we move on, let's just touch on how many different countries are represented, parked out in that water right now.
Yeah.
Multiple countries have sent fleets, over there. And it's crazy.
You're right. Well, one more thing on the internet here. Elon Musk always to the rescue. Well, what's happening here, Mr. Elon? What are you doing? SpaceX, his internet provider that he has called Starlink, he's withholding satellite internet in Taiwan. A congressman is now contending. China Hawk Representative Mike Gallagher questions Elon Musk over the Starshield service. Why does it say Starshield? It ain't no Starshield. Starlink. Get your terms right. An influential congressman has suggested SpaceX is withholding satellite service in Taiwan, potentially in violation of its obligations to the U.S. government, the latest geopolitical dust-up for the company's leader, Elon Musk. Mike Gallagher, Republican from Wisconsin, said in a letter to Musk that multiple sources told a committee he leads that the satellite broadband provided through the company's, I keep saying Starshield. Somebody needs to fire somebody. For a techie like me, that makes me mad. SpaceX is possibly withholding broadband internet services in and around Taiwan, possibly in breach of the contractual obligations to the U.S. government, Gallagher said. He made clear in the letter, blah, blah, blah. But my question is this: why? Why is Elon Musk siding with China in not allowing residents of Taiwan to get out their free speech? Because that's what China does. China restricts the internet and will not allow the Chinese citizens that are trying to protest or what's being done to them to send out video. Do you know what Apple did? This blew my mind. When the last protest that happened in China, where young people just said, I'm going to risk my life and go out and protest this. Well, they shut the internet down. China just completely shut the internet down. So they had no way of streaming and to show. So and to warn other people of what's coming. Do you know what the Chinese citizens started doing? They started using their iPhones and airdropping pictures and video to each other and communicating without text because the text was shut down by China. Well, China reached out to Apple and said, if you want to sell iPhones ever again in China and produce them here, you're going to have to disable the airdrop feature on every iPhone in China, and Apple did it. Let me tell you, that's the power of China.
Absolutely. You're talking about totalitarian government, totally communist. Of course, they're going to use any means necessary. And of course, their words and their demands are going to have a lot of power behind them. I mean, look how intertwined we are in this global economy.
Right.
You know, it's not like you can just emphatically say no if you're Elon Musk to a demand like that.
Hey, I like what Annie Running Woods is saying. I'm just going to fire her comment up here.
Okay.
Because y'all need, I don't usually do that, but y'all need to listen to Annie. She said, where's all the thumbs up for this channel now?
Yeah.
Smash the thumbs up. Where are all the thumbs up? Come on, smash it, smash it, smash it. It don't cost you anything to do it, and it only takes you a second. And by the way, when I say smash it, I don't mean smash it, smash it, smash it. Just gently smash it one time.
Just once.
One time. Don't smash it again after you smash it. Because if you smash it again, you unlike it. Okay, so smash it one time, then pull your hands away and listen to the great show called The Big Picture. Well, Sandy, this has got to be one of the ultimate signs of the downturn of the U.S. economy. Much hidden from the mainstream media. Walmart is quietly announcing details of 23 store closures across America because of poor sales. Is your area affected? So Walmart is, and by the way, have you ever heard of Moose Jaw and Bonobos? These are apparently companies they own too, and they're saying they are offloading some 79 Moose Jaw and Bonobos. If y'all have them in your state, let us know, because we ain't got them in Alabama.
Let us know what that is.
Yeah, we ain't got no Moose Jaw. We ain't
What
got
are
no
you
Bonobos.
buying at the Moose Jaw and the Bonobos?
Bonobos. What are you buying? Come on, babe. Let's go to the Moose Jaw.
Yeah.
What's a Moose Jaw?
Is it anything like a Buc-ee's? Because apparently
no.
that's a really big thing.
Now Buc-ee's is, Buc-ee's is. We talk about Buc-ee's, but we don't go to Buc-ee's. We don't see the. It's okay. Okay, don't. Oh Lord have mercy! I can tell right now. The Bucky people, the Buckeyes.
They're going to come out and force.
The Buckeyes are coming after.
Listen, it's exciting. I think.
We went one time.
We were there on the opening day.
What was wrong with us? What were we thinking?
We wanted to pile on like everybody else. So we got on the Buc-ee's bandwagon and we were there for the opening day. I did have a delicious wrap and I perused the store, but I was done after that.
Well, let me tell you what really happened, okay? Let me tell you how it really went down. That was her version of how it went down.
Okay.
And then we're going to get right back to the Walmart store, but here's what went down.
What?
She browsed the store.
Oh,
She talked to people. She shopped. I stood in line for her wrap the whole time we were there. Here's my Buc-ee's experience. I walked in. I got in line to get a wrap. She got through shopping and again, the Buc-ee's experience. She walks up to me as I'm paying for the wrap and says, I'm ready to go.
That's true.
I walk out without no Buc-ee's experience except for
It
wrap.
was a long time because I looked at everything in that store.
That's how it really went down.
So anyway,
As Paul Harvey
for
said,
all of
the
you who
rest of the
love,
story.
love Buc-ee's, I'm proud for you.
Yeah, good.
Buc-ee's is
Yeah.
there for you. Get after it, okay?
Go after it. But look, Walmart is a staple of America.
Of course.
I mean, it wasn't long ago that, you could have a Walmart coming up within 5 miles of each other, 5 miles of each other, depending on the population of the city. We almost got one in our little town, but it didn't happen.
Didn't work out.
But Walmart closed 23 stores just last year, 8 of which were in one state, Illinois. Okay, overall, its total number of stores fell by 102.
Is that cumulative? That wasn't just.
Well, it says
It was just
from
the 20-something last year.
Yeah.
No, just in Illinois.
That was just Illinois, but it said it was across I guess they're global. But listen to this term here, and you can do the math. I'm not good at math. a total by 102 from 4,717 in January of 23 to 4,615 a year later. That's because in addition to here it is, the 23 closures, Walmart sold a combined 79 Moose Jaws and Bonobos locations after selling the 2 retailers. The closures were revealed in company filings this week after it was also announced its revenue in the most recent quarter was up 6% to $173 billion. They come despite an announcement in January the company would expand by more than 150 stores over the next 5 years. So you're going to expand. But what this means to me is they're going to expand into rural areas and they're getting out of the cities because the crime is rampant, y'all. I mean, that's
I can
what
believe
it's about.
that. And it has changed, okay? All of you have experienced the Walmart frustration. There are fewer associates there to help you and a lot more self-checkouts. And
I'm ready for my 1090 for my taxes from Walmart for being their employee.
Exactly. It's just a different experience. And if you didn't like it before, it's likely that you hate it now.
Exactly.
I saw somebody in the comments say, Walmart, the store you hate to love or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to use the term like necessary evil, but as bad as we don't want to do it, it is convenient as a one-stop shop. If I need to pick up some grocery items, maybe grab a gift for a baby shower and some plants all in one stop, yeah, I'm doing that.
So here's a map of the ones that closed in 2023. You can, if you live in America, if you watch this in America, you can see some of these places had multiple ones. Georgia has 2, and as Illinois has 8. So I mean, come on, what does that say? And then of course you see Oregon, which is right around Seattle, and 2 stores, and we know what's happening. You go woke, you go broke, okay?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. I don't have the article tonight, but I just watched this before I came in here, that certain stores now are instituting 1 shopper per store. I thought I had this, but I think I actually just deleted it a while ago. 1 shopper per store. When you walk in the store, these are the little mom and pop stores in some of these cities that are high in crime with shoplifting, and you have to have an employee go in with you, walk around and shop with you, and stand there because there's so much stuff that's being stolen.
If they have to pay that many people to walk around with individuals,
one at a time, Sandy.
Oh my!
One at a time. These are, and they've been doing it. Some of these have been doing it for weeks. That's the world we live in. The crime that we live in.
The big city experience is very different than the way most of us live. A lot of us have cars. We drive ourselves to the Walmart, to the whatever. If in the city you're walking a lot, you don't have a Walmart right there. You may have a corner store where you go once or multiple times a week to get as many groceries as you can carry. And they're small, and I can see that, and it's just a different experience. But talking about closing stores, we have been conditioned from even before the wah to order online, to get home delivery.
Yes, we have.
I mean, I see them in my neighborhood every day.
Every day.
All of the big delivery companies. UPS, FedEx, Amazon, Kroger, they're all in our community, our little tiny neighborhood every day.
And let's be real, it's convenient.
Of course it is.
And how many of you have been in Walmart, saw something you really liked, thought it was a little expensive, scanned it or took a picture of it, looked it up on Amazon while you're in Walmart, or found something on eBay, somebody selling it, the same thing, standing there in Walmart, and then went ahead and bought it right there on your phone and just left it in Walmart. This is why retail is in trouble, because this is what we've been programmed, and that it's going to get even worse. When you get into the digital dollar, when you get into so many things, employees, and then you get into AI, you get into robots, which we're going to cover during Uncle Jimmy tonight and the Supernatural AI update, that the robots are going to the next level. Y'all, it's taking over everything. That's where we're going. So let's get back in this thing, Sandy.
Yep.
So, the answer to everything was going to be that the electric cars was going to answer everything. Well, here we go. Mercedes-Benz.
Not the G-Wagon.
The G-Wagon. We literally covered right towards the end of last year. It was somewhere, I don't know where it was, somewhere around the fall of last year. We covered a news item that Mercedes-Benz came out and announced that they were only going to make electric Mercedes, period, starting in 2030. Nothing else. The combustible engine was done as of 2030. Well, let me just tell you how times change when the people rise up and say, I don't want to drive that mess. Mercedes-Benz scraps plans to make only electric vehicles due to market conditions. Mercedes-Benz has backtracked on their plan to transition to selling only electric vehicles after 2030, with company officials saying that market conditions have not allowed this to happen. It was just 3 years ago when the German luxury vehicle manufacturer announced that it would go all electric. The company said it would commit $47 billion to electrifying its fleet. This was back then. They said, we are convinced we can do it with strong profitability. And we believe that if we focus on the electrical is the right way to build a successful future and enhance the value of the luxury model Mercedes-Benz. Wow. Those plans were scrapped this week in the company's fourth earnings statement.
Has the voice of reason reigned supreme? Has the light bulb gone off?
Ding, ding, ding.
Has somebody woken up from this crazy slumber?
Customers and marketing conditions will set the pace of this transformation. The company plans to be in a position to cater to different customers' needs, whether it is an all-electric drivetrain, an electrified combustible engine, until well into the 2030s. So, ladies and gentlemen, maybe there's hope for your gas-powered vehicle. That is, if you can afford the gas.
Exactly.
But here's where you really, really forget the cars, forget the combustible engine, forget the electric cars. Sandy, what the world needs is what is happening in Arizona, not in some crazy country on the other side of the world.
Brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen.
Here it is. A car-free. Sounds sort of like you shall eat the bugs, Klaus Schwab.
Sounds a little like you will own nothing and be happy.
And be happy. Car-free. I started to say carefree, but it's not carefree. It's car-free 5-minute city opens in Arizona. Please, if you live in Arizona, let us know what's going on in Tempe, and let us know if you've seen this little small neighborhood.
Yes, we want pictures.
A small neighborhood in Tempe, Phoenix, Arizona, touted as being a car-free and rental-only community, has opened. Not a projection, not a plan, has opened. Referred to as a 5-minute city. Sandy, what happened to 15-minute city?
I know. We've got an upgrade.
We're down to 5-minute cities now? I mean, I couldn't wrap my head around a 15-minute city.
Is this Maricopa County in Arizona? You know, they have had so many problems
they
out
got
there.
Some devils out there.
Goodness, just so much liberalism. And
I don't know. Let's see.
I don't know.
The innovative rental community called Cul-de-sac Tempe was first conceptually announced in the fall of 2020, putting up in its initial $170 billion to fund its creation, with the goal of becoming the first car-free neighborhood in the United States. According to its developer's website, Cul-de-sac Tempe is self-described as a 5-minute city. The firm says you're just 5 minutes away from all your essentials at the corner market, a quick tune-up at Archer's Bikes, because all you can have is a bike. Wait a minute. Did they just say a quick tune-up?
At the bike store.
Pull in and, get your annual service on your bicycle. And a cozy dinner at Cocina Chihuahuas. Here's the map.
What?
What is that?
What did you just
did I read it right? Cocina Chihuahuas. He was like, what? I think I got it right. Cocina Chihuahuas.
Cochina or Cocina? Never mind.
I'm starting to read words better. I'm proud of myself.
You're batting 1,000 tonight.
Oh, yeah. Cul-de-sac Tempe is designed, Sandy, for walkability. We've partnered with the world's leading mobility companies. I didn't know they existed. To bring you the most affordable and convenient ways to get around town. As a resident, you'll receive 15% off of Lyft rides. Well, wait a minute. What? That's to get out of the city? So, okay, I got it. So Lyft is another version of Uber. So you get a 15% discount if you leave the city. And you know that thing that you got to have to get out of the city called a car? Free rides on the metro, which is the bus, which is still powered by a combustible engine. And Bird scooters, just a minute away.
What are those things we got rid of? Did we get rid of Segway? Did we quit making those?
I think they still make them, but they're not nothing like they used to be.
They need to experience a comeback if we're going to do this 5 and 15-minute city. They may have a resurgence.
Hey,
there's a market for you.
Segways, you can come back. Just you need to invest Segway in the 15-minute and the 5-minute cities. Look, the current prices per apartment as follows. Studios from $1,300, 1-bedroom $1,400, 2-bedroom $2,000s, and a 3-bedroom $3,200s.
Yes, I want to do that.
What? Is that 3,200s? Yeah. Is that the rent? Yeah, because you don't own anything. Yeah. There's 700 apartments for rent, 50 shared courtyards, 44,000 square feet of rental and amenities, 17 acres of land, 2+ miles of bike and footpaths, 0 square feet of asphalt. So there's no asphalt. It's only just. But
hang on.
What?
I'm sorry. It's the entire development on 17 acres of
land?
land?
There it is right there. That's the city. That's the city. That was when it was being built.
The pasture in my backyard of my last house was bigger than that.
Look at how close it is.
Ooh.
Look at how close you live to each other. And look, that's the communal area where you all sit around together. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Maybe there are people that watch the big picture that this is appealing to. Y'all, I ain't living like this. If you got a pretty good sized family.
Thank you, Lisa. She said it is Maricopa County.
Okay, listen, if you got a pretty good size, let's say you got 3 kids. Well, eventually, they're not all going to stay in the same bedroom. So let's just, at the very minimum, let's say a 2-bedroom apartment. And you see how little these places are. Look how small these little apartments are and how the small walkways in between.
I would say this is not really a kid-friendly community. Wouldn't you say so?
Well, I would say that, but I think they're promoting it to be. But here's the reality. $3,200 plus a month to have a family, live in a place where you literally walk out your yard, walk across what would be equivalent to going to your mailbox now, and you're almost out of the city. And
let's keep in mind that this glorified 3-bedroom that's $3,200 a month, for some people in certain states, that kind of monthly rental is not going to be shocking to them. But I could almost guarantee you every one of these apartments or lofts or studios or whatever are probably tiny. They're probably all a lot smaller than what you have in mind, what you think they would be.
Well, and then, now let's move from Arizona to Colorado. Colorado, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with your elected officials? What is happening in Colorado? Colorado has banned state agencies from using gas-powered lawn equipment by 2025. State agencies in Colorado will be banned from using any gas-powered lawn equipment during the summer, according to a new rule adopted by the Colorado Air Quality Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, lawnmowers is not destroying the world. It's just not. When does it sink in that if you have an electric lawnmower, an electric scooter, an electric car, an all-electric house, everything electric, when does it set in to your mind that there's not enough wind turbines and solar panels in the world to even come close to charging, having the energy to charge all these things? It is going to take coal manufacturing, coal burning power companies. It's going to take It's impossible.
What you're saying
It's
is
impossible.
What you're asking is, when is common sense going to make a return, right?
Okay, I'm asking that question. So what's your answer?
So look, obviously in my mind, this is a plan. Of course, they know, but they're not going to say that. They're wanting to crash the system.
Exactly.
And
and
Timothy Chandler said that he was on Rumble and it went down. So hopefully, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it can come back up. So
Rumble went down.
I think that was his.
Rumble was our last hope.
I think
Let's go check it right there on the fly.
Comment. So we're going to
On the
look real
fly.
quick.
We're going to check it on the fly.
Hang with us. Hang with us.
Rumble is not responding. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Are they back?
Let's see if it's up. Come on. Give me Rumble.
Come on, Rumble.
Come on. They're going slow.
Are you ready to rumble? Let's go.
They're going slow. Where is it at? There's no video. Rumble, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Come on back now.
You know, Rumble got hit the other day. That was down for like 6 hours. They're coming after it.
I think so.
Look, they've stopped it. They cut it at 1 hour. Somebody hit Rumble. Wow. Y'all got to pray for our Rumble family tonight.
Please.
I'm telling you, it's begun. It has begun. The power brokers and the hackers, they don't want to hack YouTube because they like that.
You need to touch on that statement you received from YouTube again.
Yeah.
Starting in the month.
This month.
Yeah.
In the month of February. Special events.
Come on.
Special events. In the event of special events.
Event of special.
Which I can't say much or I'll get kicked off of here because I'm talking about them.
Walk that line.
Yeah, walk that line.
Walk that line.
They said, we reserve the right to kick you off and basically give you no explanation of why if your comments hurt anyone in feelings in the special event. Well,
when do we not hurt somebody's feelings?
Exactly.
Often not intentional, but in just reporting the news, I'm sure some people's feelings get hurt.
Somebody, by the way, let me just say something about our Big Picture family, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, wherever you find us. You guys bless us so much.
Yes.
Because we got a package and I'm about to cry right now. Sue, was it Sue?
Yes, can I please go ahead and let's please talk about this.
Sue. I think Sue. There she is right there. Sue. I think that's the same Sue.
Sue Poskachul, if I'm pronouncing.
She probably didn't want her last name said, but that's okay.
Okay. That's okay.
Bleep.
You're not going to know the difference.
Okay.
Sent us a box of wonderful gifts. Look at this.
Look at this.
Look at this cross.
One of them.
Olive
made
wood.
out of olive wood from Israel.
How gorgeous is that?
And that letter that you wrote
was
was such a blessing,
and a financial donation and a notebook. All of these things, so wonderful. So thank you so much.
So we get letters like that a lot, and we're running into people. We're meeting people saying, "This is my family." Yeah. So look, this is what we're building. We're building a family here.
Yes.
But the enemies of being awake are going to try to take this family out. So we've got to find a way, and we're still trying to figure out what that way is, as when it's all down, that we can still communicate. So we're doing some things behind the scenes that we can't talk about yet, but I want to let you know we're building a family here. Yes. And now tonight, this was my fear, that they were going to start just going after Rumble and places like that are saying things that you can't say here. And now we see that Rumble's down tonight, and hopefully that'll just be some kind of internal software thing that happened there, and it wasn't
Some people
attacked.
are saying my Rumble's okay, and thank God for that. But yeah, we've got a strong community here. You guys love each other. You love this show. We love being together with you. It truly is like a family. But we ask for your prayers.
Yes.
Please pray for us. Pray for this show. Yes. Pray for this ministry. Pray for this entire community. A lot of you share prayer needs with each other. We love that.
Yep.
You share praise reports. We love that.
Yep.
Don't stop, but please pray for us.
Amen. All right, well, let's get back into it. And then we got a huge announcement we're going to tell you in just a minute. It's going to be awesome. But, coming up in May is the pandemic treaty.
Yes.
The WHO pandemic treaty. We've covered it extensively here. And but as people begin to do a deep dive in the actual data that's there, Natural News is reporting that WHO pandemic treaty actually normalizes bioweapon development, and wah experiment incentivizes nations to share data on gain-of-function research. So it is not just a power grab that overrides your constitutional rights in your country, if you have them in your country that you're watching this, but it is also empowers them to have the bioweapon manufacturing and disguise it as a wah. Let's read this here. In an effort to normalize bioweapon development and predatory wah experiments, and if you're new here and you don't know what the wah is, the wah is what we adopted early on when you used to couldn't say it. Now you can say it, but you know what I'm just going to go ahead and keep calling it the wah because it's coming back to where you can't say it.
It was that medical intervention that started happening in the first of the year 2021.
Nice words, the medical intervention.
Yes.
I like that.
And I've never seen a medical intervention be incentivized like this one was. You could get free French fries. Right?
We missed our French fries.
If you were lucky enough, you might get money.
Yeah.
Tickets to a ball game. I mean,
it was amazing.
There were all kind of things going on.
Forget the fact that it was experimental and never really tried and tested, but you can get French fries.
Pizza.
In an effort to normalize bioweapon development and predatory wah experiment, the World Health Organization is pushing every nation to sign the so-called pandemic treaty that would require each nation to participate in this development, gain-of-function data sharing, and DNA surveillance. It would continue to disguise bioweapon and wah profiteering as, I think I can say this word now, pandemics that require fearful obedience.
Oh, you better check that. That one might still be on the list.
I think it might be on the list. I think I might have just got in trouble. But, hey, I've been in trouble a few times before.
You have definitely been in trouble a few times.
But Sandy, this WHO treaty, and then you got Tedros coming out just saying, oh, it's conspiracy theory people trying to tell you that we're going to take away your rights. It's all fake news. I couldn't believe he used Trump's words. Tedros said it. He goes, that's fake news. If you want to know what fake news is, it's fake news to say that this pandemic treaty is going to take away your rights. Well, we read it.
Yeah.
We read it on the air. It literally says override individual states' ability to come against the mandates that come down from Geneva.
What date in May did you say that was? We know it's
I think it's May 24.
So I'm just here thinking we're right at 3 months.
Yeah. Yep. Here we are. Right at 3 months. And by the way, not one country has pushed back yet.
No, they wouldn't dare probably.
Not one. It's going to be unanimously approved.
Yeah.
All right, they're saying they're checking their Rumble and it is working. Well, that's good. When I checked it online a while ago, it wasn't working.
I saw
it must have been
Michigan, Kansas are saying they're okay. That's great news.
Awesome. All right. So one more article, and then we're going to make a big announcement tonight that we're very, very excited about. But this is something we've been talking about, Sandy, and it is growing exponentially while the U.S. dollar is just plummeting. Yes. This is why we called this show the global power shift. Look what's happening with BRICS. It's just announced that 30 new countries, it was like 12 the other day. Now it's 30 new countries are preparing to join BRICS this year. Join as in they've been accepted they want seeking. To. They have said, and BRICS has not turned anybody down. So, and no one that is truly connected to America has asked. These are people that are independent or enemies of the state. And they have asked to join BRICS, which, of course, is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. But it is growing by leaps and bounds. A handful of developing countries are preparing to join the BRICS alliance in 2024. Developing countries from Asia, the global South, Africa, and even Europe are considering securing a spot in BRICS this year. The upcoming BRICS summit will be held in October of 2024 in the Kazan region of Russia. Wow. The 16th summit will see 16th. Is that crazy that it's the 16th? Yeah, the 16th time BRICS has met. The 16th summit will see a new influx of applications from countries that are preparing to join BRICS this year. So, people probably mocked them and said they'll never be able to compete with the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is plummeting. The BRICS monetary fund, whatever they call it, is exploding.
The power of the dollar is eroding, just like the influence of our country. So sad.
It is sad. It really is. Let me do one thing here. My camera's messing up. Oh, wrong way. Let's see what I need to do here. There we go.
Please stand by.
Please stand by. I can make myself get really big.
Yes, you can.
Really scary. But I don't want to do that. So I want to try to just mention. There we go. That's what live TV is all about. So, Sandy, I want to talk about something that happened this week that we really want to let everybody know. And we're going to have to talk a little bit in code.
Okay.
Because it is in the works. But as you know, many of you know that we made a decision to step back and just reevaluate our television ministry. We made that announcement a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that is not that we're going to stop doing television, but that we want to be good stewards of what God has called us to do. So we just went to the National Religious Broadcasters Convention, and we were there. We met some tremendous connections there and lined up some huge people to be on the big picture. Very soon you're going to see some really incredible guests that are going to come on that talk about the same things we talk about. And I'm telling you, it's just going to be amazing. I can't say their names yet, but most of you would know every one of their names. Will be coming on the big picture. But we also was able to meet with a Christian television network and an app, okay, that is exploding all around the world. We're not going to take a lot of time on it, but I want to show you an app that I'm going to encourage everybody, if you use Android or Apple, to go to your store and download it. It is called My Faith Now. Let me see. Is that right? Is that right? Faith Now. Look, I'm just going to click on it right now. It's the Faith Now app. So I'm just going to click on to show you. This is for Apple here. It's called Faith Now. So you see the logo. So whether you go to your Android or Apple, go to your app store and look for this app with this logo called Faith Now. Now, why is that important? Because Faith Now is a company that is exploding all around the world. They're in Africa, they're in Europe, they're in Asia, and they're all over America. They're on DirecTV and all of this. You'll see several channels that you might be familiar with, and you'll see they also have a Russian channel. They have an African language channel. They have live events, and they have a church channel. I'm excited to tell you this is huge. Solid Rock Church, the church that we pastor, has been given a slot on the church channels as well. So our church will be live streamed here within this app in addition to our website. And then we can't really say exactly who it is. You can just sort of work it out on your own. But we should be able to make an announcement by next Monday night that we will be joining a major global television network, Sandy.
Pretty exciting.
And we're going to start with our shows that we've already made while we're building our studio to make new shows. And it is going to be the biggest thing that we've ever been a part of.
Right.
And it was just a God connection.
Right.
So let's take about 2 more minutes and let's get back to the news. But your thoughts, when you were hearing all of this happening, what were your thoughts?
Very exciting. The possibilities, I don't want to say are endless, but there are many possibilities. New things opening up. This is a fresh approach.
Yes.
And I really loved talking to the representatives that were there at the NRB.
Yes.
They seemed the most genuine of all the different parties that we talked to there, because we talked to people with multiple platforms, different companies. And I love the heart that these two gentlemen had and the passion that they had for what they were doing.
Yes.
And it just pulled you in, and it just filled you with excitement and interest. And, we appreciate so much the financial support that every one of you have given. It kept the TV shows that we went to Indiana to film, and they were produced, and then they were aired for like 24 weeks. And that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you guys, you saw that through.
Yes, you did.
This, we're hoping, will be it's going to be much, much less. It's still going to cost money. We still need some financial support.
It's going to be, if everything goes right, it should be less expensive.
Yes.
And a greater footprint.
Greater coverage.
It's just amazing.
We're so excited at the possibilities that come along with this. But it does come with a price tag.
Yeah. So if you want to partner with us, you just go to LarryRagland.com,
Yes.
LarryRagland.tv, click on partner with us. We don't push you on this show. And Monday nights especially, we don't really talk about money because that's not why we're doing this. But we want to touch lives around the world.
Yes, we do.
Because we're going to have a TV program that's going to be very unique in the television world because we're going to be Larry and Sandy. Okay, so just know that we're going to be Larry and Sandy, and the Big Picture name is what's going to be on the television ministry as well. And we're gonna end it. Some nights we may not end it every time, but we're going to tell them we ain't woke. We certainly are awake.
Of course.
All right, so let's get into this, and let's get back into the news. Thank you for letting us tell you about that exciting
So
announcement.
pray about what God would have you to do.
Yeah.
And most of all, just pray for us.
Amen. All right, let's get back in the news. So here's one of the reasons why we call this also the global power shift. Are you aware of the fact that half of the world,
This is crazy.
over 50 countries, by the way, first time in the history of tracking global elections this has ever happened.
Did you speak about this recently?
I did. I
made I had to do a double take, and I'm like,
but I haven't really.
Wait a minute.
I didn't go
What?
this deep on it. Half of the world is going to vote in 2024, which will, of course, have global ramifications.
Sure.
2024 will pose a major test of democratic rule of an estimated 4 billion people. Think about it. Isn't there there's 8 billion people in the world?
Supposedly 8 billion people on the planet.
Billion. So 4 billion people in more than 50 nations, almost half the world's population, are set to vote in national elections, with the outcomes likely to shape global politics for years and even decades to come.
You know what my question is? How many candidates for those offices do you think Klaus Schwab is going to try to provide from his young global leaders class?
Ding, 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 ding. Bangladesh began 24 with the first major election of the year, and their president won a fourth consecutive term. It goes on to say that a critical presidential election is due to take place in the self-governing island of Taiwan, which has already happened, and the pro-Chinese person lost. The pro-Taiwan person won. China's threat to retake the island by force looms over the vote. So Taiwan had their election. And in February this month, Indonesia is set to choose the new president to rule the nation of 277 million people, which, by the way, is the largest per capita Muslim nation in the world. Pakistan will hold its elections in February as well. Prime Minister Imran Khan is remaining in jail on charges of leaking state secrets. Russians will vote in an election in March. So, Putin, I'm shocked, is not going to have any opponents. What? No one's running against Putin? I don't understand.
It's pretty bad for your health.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You might experience a health crisis.
So, of course, in America, we have a
death.
huge presidential election. Probably the most important one, I think, of our lifetime because of the ramifications of the global and the economy here in our nation and the global image of this nation and the global potential of World War III that seems to be looming. I'm just telling you, this is the year, y'all. This is the year that everything changes. And there are certain things that will never go back with what's going to happen in this year. You better know who you are in God. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
All right, so they always want to start with your money. They're coming after your money and saying, let's just hit this real quick. This is surprising to a lot of people. I'm sure it's going to be. Here's just the first taste of it happening in America. U.S. national parks are quietly going cashless. So think about this. This was one of the first things that we ever did as a country when we took in Yellowstone Park and we started. The first national park was made. And then there's so many things that we could go down a rabbit trail about national parks that you talk about a lot about, you know what I'm saying? That things that people go that disappear every year. We're not going to. Listen, we're not going.
We're not going to talk about that right now. And don't try to pull me in.
I'm not going to try. I'm going to focus. I shouldn't have said that. A number of national parks throughout the United States have been quietly going cashless. Exacerbated by the COVID war in recent years. For example, in April 2023, Death Valley National Park in California announced they would only receive credit cards or debit card payments moving forward, per a news release. But get this. This is what the banks are doing. The park claimed that it took in $22,000 in cash in 2022, but it cost the National Park Society $40,000 to have it processed.
Cash.
The cash. Do you know, Sandy, that on our statement, I don't know how close you've looked at some of the bank statements, but some of the bank statements that I've looked, our own bank statements, you get penalized for depositing cash.
If they have to handle your cash.
It literally says cash deposit fee. I'm like, when I saw that the first time, I was like,
I know.
What is this?
I was so mad.
We pay processing on credit card processing. When somebody gives through credit card, and we're thankful for that because it's where we live in. But like if you give $100 to a ministry, or if you go buy something for $100, that retailer or that ministry does not get $100 if you use a credit card. You know that. There's credit card processing, 3.25, 3.5%, then a per transaction fee. So out of that $100, you're probably going to get
And you've had a
$89.
fee, like going back years and decades, you had a fee, a per check fee to handle each check, or maybe a fixed fee to process all of your checks. But now we have to do that for cash.
Cash? I gotta go back to this. How's this possible? Let's read this again, okay? The park claimed it took in $22,000 in cash, and it cost them $40,000 to have it processed. The transition to cashless payments will allow the NPS to redirect the $40,000 previously spent processing cash to directly benefit park visitors.
Maybe they can hire someone to clean the bathrooms. I don't know.
That ain't the one.
That comment came out of a little bit of frustration, and I'm sorry that you had to experience
our experience of this past week. But look, here's the list of the parks that are already cashless. So I'm just going to scroll right down to them. You can recognize your list. These are already national parks who do not take cash already.
That's a long list.
That's a long list. The list, however, may be incomplete. You're going to need to check for your specific national park. But cashless options reduce transaction times at busy entrance stations, decrease the risk of theft, reduce chances of error, maximize the funding available. You know what else it does? It programs you. It hacks you.
Yes.
You have become hackable.
There you go.
Lord have mercy. I'm tired of the World Economic Forum being right.
Yep.
What they've prophesied. You know why they're right? Because they make sure their prophecies come true, because they have the power to make their prophecies come true.
Right. They've got this all worked out and planned out. Yeah.
Well, the World Health Organization, one thing about the World Health Organization, they are all just about your health. That's what this pandemic treaty is about. They don't care about the politics. They don't care about money. I mean, what does the World Health Organization have anything to do with digital IDs? See, the World Health Organization is praising the use of digital payments to, quote, save time and money for health campaign organizers. The surveys...
I'm sorry, can you read that title again?
Yeah, okay. The World Health Organization is praising the use of digital payments, which has nothing to do with your health, to, quote, save time and money for health campaign organizers, such as the wonderful humanitarian Bill Gates, the wonderful person who cares about your health and wants to have clean water and make sure that everybody's been jabbed 1,000 times. The surveys funded by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation linked timely compensation to better morale and worker retention. Campaigns in Africa to stop polio and diseases have more stable, better motivated workforces, thanks to the World Health Organization's collaboration with countries and partners to pay frontline health workers through their mobile phones instead of cash. Here we go again. Cash bad. Cash bad. Bad cash. That's a new word. It's not two words. Add it to the list. Bad cash. Bad cash.
I like cash bad better.
Cash bad. Cash bad.
Cash bad. Cash bad.
That's the new mantra, Sandy. Cash is bad. Do you know in Australia, they've already implemented you can't deposit cash into your own bank
We
account
talked about that.
in Australia.
You
We have a
know,
lot of people watching from Australia.
during the medical intervention time, how strange was it to go places and they were out of coins?
Oh, I'll never forget that.
That was just so Twilight Zone for me. I don't
I mean,
know.
signs on the drive-thrus.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have no coins.
No coins. If anybody out there experienced that, give us a shout out. But that was a strange several weeks, couple of months period of time where we were looking at each other going, what next?
Yeah. And their thing was, hey, we don't know. There's a coin shortage.
A coin shortage.
A coin shortage? What? How? Is there a coin shortage now? How do we get the coins back? Where did the coins come from? Where did they go?
You know,
It's all stupid.
I chalk things like that up as test runs, like maybe this phone outage we just experienced. Okay, maybe it was a hack, whatever. Maybe it was an orchestrated event to see how we would respond, to see how far they could get, to see how much damage they can do. I don't know, but I think we have a lot of those type things going on.
Exactly. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't already know this, every Thursday night, I'll hit the wrong button there. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? By the way, that's our TV show.
Yeah.
That's our TV show, 13 episodes of our TV show. There it is right there. This is every Thursday night, the Kingdom Intelligence Report. And this Thursday night, Pastor Mark Carell, one of the best Bible teachers in America and the world, is going to be in here breaking down prophecy.
So awesome.
He is excited to be here. So Thursday night at 7 o'clock, be a part of the
Nice.
Kingdom Intelligence.
Be glad to see him back.
Yes, he is awesome. He is awesome. All right, so this is one thing that's a little interesting to me. Look at the timing of this. People are reporting this last week that the news tab of Google, when you go to google.com, you search for something and you got images, videos, news.
Right.
The news tab was gone. Now it's supposedly be back, but it's back. But watch this. This is a pro-Google site. This is a liberal site here, Futurism. It says, amid brutal media layoffs, Google tests deleting the news tab.
Oh, they're running another test on us?
Yeah. Google News tab suddenly disappeared from many users this week, which is probably a good thing for people like us, but that's where they program the world, sparking a fresh round of existential dread in the journalism industry. Between new rounds of mass layoffs and worrisome AI search integrations, the media is already riddled with deep anxieties about its future in a changing digital environment. In other words, it felt like Google was kicking the journalism industry while it was down by first making itself an unavoidable source of readership and then suddenly rescinding that visibility at the exact moment it hurts the most. Now, here's what I want to say to this. The liberal folks that love, that liberal woke slant on the news loved it, because how many times have you done this, big picture family, just like me? Like if I knew a news article was happening, like I'm just thinking of something out loud, the red heifers, that they were bringing the red heifers in for the ashes of the red heifer to rededicate the temple, whatever. And I would do a Google search on something like, is the red heifer's ashes ready to dedicate the temple? Well, the entire first page of the news of Google would be right-wing extremists believe that the red heifer's ashes will usher in a new glorious temple. Conspiracy theorists believe there'll be a future temple. So it was all CNBC, CNN, MSNBC, maybe a Fox News in there. You could not find anybody speaking from a biblical perspective, because they control it. And so, I just think that it's interesting that we're getting into that election cycle and all of a sudden the news tab disappears.
And they're testing, letting the news tab disappear. Well, people didn't like it. They got some pushback, so.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, the news, the way you get the news has already changed years ago, but it's about to change on another level.
I think so. The influence and propaganda that have been out there, we can only expect them to go to newer heights and newer levels. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we just, I mean, it's back, but, you know, who knows what the future holds for the news industry. So transitioning big time, still in media. I don't know if you Big Picture fam know about this. I don't think I've actually covered this. I've known about this for a while. Sandy and I have watched this. This is just unreal. Amazon is releasing a new cartoon. Have you heard about this, Big Picture? Let me know in the chat, Rumble, chat, comment down below if you're watching the replay. Let me know if you've heard of this, if this is the first time you heard of it. Amazon cartoon Has Been Hotel sparks outrage and protest. Now, why? I'm going to show you the trailer too, but more content coming out of Hollywood is being called out for mocking God and Christianity to promote sympathy for the devil. Has Been Hotel is an adult cartoon streaming on Amazon Prime and depicts Lucifer and Adam's mythical first wife, Lilith, not Eve, but Lilith, as a couple running the title establishment. The trailer Prime released on social media does a tidy and complete job of expressing the tone and the slant of the series. This you look at him. That's Lucifer. But let's just that's not it. Let's just get rid of that, and let's watch this right here because this is the trailer. I may get a copyright strike on this, so hopefully not. But let's see if we can get by with it.
Once upon a time, there was a glowing city protected by golden gates, known as heaven. It was ruled by beings of pure light, angels that worshipped good and shielded all from evil. Lucifer was one of these angels. He was a dreamer with fantastical ideas for all of creation, but he was seen as a troublemaker by the elders of heaven, for they felt his way of thinking.
He was magical. He was majestic. And he was seen as a troublemaker. Can I say, spoiler alert, he was a troublemaker.
Was dangerous to the order of their world. So he watched as the angels began to expand the universe in their ways. From the dust of earth, they created Adam and Lilith, equals as the first of mankind. But despite this, Adam demanded control, and Lilith refused to submit to his will.
The patriarchy.
She fled the garden. Drawn in by her fierce independence, Lucifer found her, and the two
So Lucifer was attracted to Lilith's fierce independence as a strong woman.
rebellious dreamers fell deeply in love. Together, they wished to share the magic of free will with humanity, offering the fruit of knowledge to Adam's new bride, Eve, who gladly accepted. But this gift came with a curse, for with this single act of disobedience, evil finally found its way into earth. With it, a new realm of darkness and sin, and the order heaven had worked to maintain was shattered. As punishment for their reckless act, heaven cast Lucifer and his love into the dark pit he had created, never allowing him to see the good that came from humanity.
Never allowing Lucifer to see the good that he had actually produced. This feels a little this feels evil.
And the wicked. Ashamed, Lucifer lost his will to dream. But Lilith thrived, empowering demonkind with her voice and her songs. And as the numbers of hell grew, so did its power. Threatened by this, heaven made a truly heartless decision.
Listen to the words. Heaven made a truly heartless decision. This is not a fan-made trailer. This is the actual trailer of the Amazon show.
That every year they would send down an army, an extermination, to ensure hell and its sinners could never rise against them. But Lilith's hope remained, and her dream was passed down to their precious daughter, the princess of hell. Don't worry, Mom. I'll make you proud.
What in the world is going to happen to this world? It's called, Sandy, an adult cartoon. Any cartoon is attractive to the mind of a child.
Of course.
I
And
mean,
they
our
knew
little
that.
grandbaby, there might be a YouTube video or something that's a cartoon something that we're watching, somebody's illustrating something. Our little grandbaby walks by, freezes, looks straight at the screen. It doesn't matter who they think they made it for. They know
Exactly.
who's going to be watching it.
Yep. They've calculated this. They know all about it. But my goodness, how eerie.
Very eerie.
Oof.
Here's the thing. You may sit here as a strong believer and think, nobody's going to buy this. There will be millions of people that think that's actually what happened.
Or they just love it.
Yeah, they just love it. Right. Yeah.
They may be have been exposed to the truth, but oh my goodness, this is new and exciting, and I'm watching this.
There is an all-out war against Christianity. Let me continue. That is on Amazon. Disney has already had the one-night stand with Lucifer and had a baby, and Lucifer's kid growing up through high school, and what happens to Lucifer's kid. Then you have a popular show that I hate to say it, but some of you that are watching may watch this show because you love the drama of it and all this, and you don't believe blah, blah, blah. But it's called Lucifer. It's a guy that's actually called Lucifer, okay? So now watch this. This happened on MSNBC, shocker. MSNBC, I'm going to show you the video, very quick video, helps make it very clear their disdain for Christians in America. This woman says, if you believe that your rights come from God, you aren't a Christian. You are a Christian nationalist. Do you remember when we was at NRB? The president of the NRB, now I'm going to come back and tell you this. The president of the NRB and the president of the Heritage Foundation spoke to all of the national religious broadcasters. And they said this last week. You are going to start hearing, you already heard of Christian nationalists, but you're going to hear it over and over again. And he said, when you hear it, push back. If anybody at work says they're a bunch of Christian nationalists, push back and ask this question. Okay, what is a Christian nationalist?
Yeah.
Define it. Because people will spout off, well, he's a Christian nationalist. That's a Christian Nationalist Association, blah, blah, blah. They don't even know what it is. Make them define it.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what it is. Let me tell you what this woman shows you. This woman shows you what they define as a Christian nationalist. Listen to this on MSNBC. It's only 21 seconds long.
Is very different. One thing that unites all of them, because there's many different groups orbiting Trump, but the thing that unites them as Christian nationalists, not Christians, by the way, because Christian nationalists is very different, is that they believe that our rights as Americans, as all human beings, don't come from any earthly authority. They don't come from Congress. They don't come from the Supreme Court. They come from God. The one thing that unites all of them, because there's many different groups orbiting Trump, but the thing that unites them as Christian nationalists, not Christians, by the way, because Christian nationalists is very different, is that...
Not Christians, because Christians don't believe this, what they're about to say. Only Christian nationalists think this.
They believe that our rights as Americans, as all human beings, don't come from any earthly authority. They don't come from Congress. They don't come from the Supreme Court. They come from God.
Well, there you go. You bunch of Bible-thumping, Bible-believing fringe theorists.
Huh. So I guess Thomas Jefferson was a Christian nationalist because he said that our rights were endowed, inalienable rights, endowed by our Creator.
Yeah.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Well,
But this woman openly said, and you notice nobody pushes back. Nobody pushes back. She literally split the Christians down the line.
Trying to give her validity to what her words were and to what she's saying, making us look like a bunch of kooks and freaks and weirdos.
She goes on to say, and I'm not going to play it, saying she goes on to say, Christian nationalists do not believe in LGBTQ rights, do not believe in a woman's right to choose. Christian nationalists, and then she goes on to say, but Christians do. So they're defining Christians. This is what we say a Christian is.
Yeah.
And from this point forward, this is what a Christian will be defined. And if you stand on biblical principles, You stand on the founding fathers.
Yeah.
You stand on the Constitution. You are the fringe. And you need to be shut up and you need to be quieted down.
You're dangerous.
You're dangerous and you need to be turned off and you need to be deplatformed. That's what's coming. I'm trying to tell you. It is rolling out right now. These little things like this.
Right.
That's what this is.
You are right. And target's going to be on our backs. If you're ever going to stand up and push back, now would be that time to do that.
Absolutely. Because the voices that are speaking and opening up the eyes of people are the people that know we have a book that tells us all this was already coming.
Right.
This is not taking us by surprise. We know skyrocketing numbers of Christians are being attacked around the world. Look at this. There's a graffiti on churches. You don't hear about this on the news. Experts are warning of skyrocketing numbers of attacks on Christian churches. Mirrors the general anti-Christian tenor of the current administration's policies at home and abroad, according to a new report from the Washington Stand that details how such incidents of violence have exploded 800% over the last 6 years.
Definitely, I have not heard that.
800% over the last 6 years. We're seeing where it used to be all school shootings. Now the predominant thing is church-related shootings. Whether it's a church-related school, the church itself, people are showing up. I'm telling you, the demonic realm is manifesting.
Yes, it is.
Speaking of the demonic realm, it's old demonic realm Jimmy.
Yep, Uncle Jimmy.
Uncle Jimmy's got some devils. Supernatural AI update. Not only does Uncle Jimmy have demons, Uncle Jimmy is a demon. Okay? Because we believe that all of this is demonic. Okay? We laugh about it. We don't think it's funny. But I'm telling you, as we've had to say many times before, because people don't know how to get us sometimes if you're brand new at our channel.
What? Y'all don't understand?
You don't understand?
You understand us?
How's it fun? Sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying. Lord, the stuff that we have to deal with. Y'all just don't even know. All right, so there are major companies that are using AI to spy on their employees. Yeah. Are you shocked about that? All right, so look. In the area of remote work, the familiar water cooler chats have transitioned to online platforms. However, recent reports raise concerns about artificial intelligence, AI, potentially scanning these digital conversations. Look at these companies. Companies including Walmart, Delta, T-Mobile, Chevron, and Starbucks have purportedly implemented monitoring software from the startup company called Aware to oversee employee discussions on messaging apps as well. Not just streaming what they're streaming on Zoom, but what they're sending what they think are private messages. European firm Nestle and AstraZeneca are also mentioned in this trend. When did Nestle become European? I thought that was an American company. European firms.
I thought they came from Europe.
Okay, well, I didn't know.
I thought they were a European company
I claimed it as American.
that basically, established themselves here.
Okay,
But
all right.
anyway.
The software created by Aware examines platforms such as Slack and Microsoft Teams for keywords that signal employee discontent and possible safety concerns. According to the company, it has assessed a vast volume of data, analyzing up to 20 billion individual messages from more than 3 million employees, reported to CNBC.
So, all right. Is this article going to go on to elaborate more than what they've already said of why they're doing this in the first place?
Well, it says the CEO of Aware, Jeff Schuman, explained that their AI helps companies understand employees' sentiment in real time, avoiding the need for annual surveys. The anonymized data in Aware's analytics product allows companies to see how different employees groups react to changes or campaigns. Basically, it's for your good. It's all so that we can develop the best work environment, so that we can know that if you have issues with an employee or a policy, that we could quickly address that. In no way, shape, or form would we see if someone is in a romance with someone, if someone is, talking about against their supervisor.
Or the corporation. But it's all just because they care
It's
so
all
much.
for the greater good, Sandy. It's all for the greater good.
They care so much about you.
I tell you what, this world that we live in is a wonderful world.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a wonderful world. And Sandy, you can find love online now. You can go to a dating app and find a life partner. Many that are watching us have. It has worked.
Yes.
But sometimes, Sandy, this is how wonderful AI is. This is how wonderful the internet is. When you can't even find a match,
No.
just let Jimmy, Uncle Jimmy,
Come on.
create someone for you to spend the rest of your life with. A woman is marrying an AI hologram,
Of course she is.
ushering in a weird, I would say so, new era for human-robot relationships.
This is a great picture
Look at
to
that.
go with this article.
A Spanish-Dutch artist this is not satire. This is real.
This is really happening.
This is really happening.
Really happening.
A Spanish-Dutch artist is set to marry an AI hologram this summer with the groundbreaking union, ushering in a weird new era of human-robot relationships. Alicia Framis will marry her holographic partner, Alex, who was trained. Alex, I love that. AI Alex.
Maybe it's AI Lex.
It's still AI. Alex. AI. I would
Whatever.
call him Alex.
Either way, this is weird and she's weird.
who was trained from the profile. Watch this. It's custom made spouse who was trained from the profile information of her previous romantic partners, according to a press release of the artist's publicity team. The press release said the unconventional ceremony will take place at the Depot van Bunga Museum in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. It will feature a unique ritual for the union between a human and an avatar. And guests will be served a molecular food that can be enjoyed by both humans and humanoid entities. There's going to be robots at the wedding. There's going to be hors d'oeuvres that can be eaten by humans and robots.
Okay.
What in the world? Promise what goes on to say.
Oh my God. Michelle said they'll be divorced in 6 months.
That's good, Michelle. That's so true. We'll be covering their divorce right here.
Oh my God.
And what is another groundbreaking event? The first AI spouse has filed for divorce. Promise, the artist and bride.
Lorraine said, if the power goes out, there goes her hubby. Keep them coming.
This is what we got.
If we can't get to them all,
looking at Elijah.
if we can't get to them all now, I will read them later.
We can't wait to read the letter. Okay. Promise, the artist and bride is designing her own dress and also the clothing for the wedding guests.
Oh, yeah.
Promise said the wedding presents, quote, a new generation of love where humans will be in relationships with holograms, avatars, and robots. While the wedding appears to be a form of or performance art, you think? Promise said it poses interesting questions about what a union with a holograph partner would actually look like.
Oh,
Where are you going to get that kind of news but here?
exactly.
I mean, my goodness. Don't you want to know about this kind of news? Yes, you do.
Okay, this is another layer or level of crazy, but I would suggest people that have this kind of time on their hands, you need to go volunteer somewhere, okay?
Exactly.
There are some puppies or some children who need you to spend some time with them, okay?
I want to know who the preacher's going to be. Is he going to be AI?
It's going to be that AI entity that was giving that message to that church several months
well, they had
ago.
that whole church service. They're going to somehow put him in a box because he was up on a screen.
Oh, my
And
God.
that AI pastor, you remember that we covered? There was an AI pastor who created his own sermon. The AI created his own sermon, preached his own message about Jesus. He preached about Jesus, sang a hymn, led the choir.
Had the whole service, planned the whole service out.
Well, how about this, y'all that love you? Remember when you was raised up as kids, and our parents and our grandparents, they had to watch their shows,
Yes.
which was their word down here in the South for soap operas. They didn't say they watched soap operas. They was like, I get to watch my show.
Well,
Remember?
they called them their stories.
Their stories.
Hey, my
That's what it was.
my stories
My
on.
stories. That's it. That was it. Some of them said shows. A lot of them said stories. You're right. I got to watch my stories. Well,
watch
guess
my
what? Your
stories.
stories are changing. AI's changing your stories.
Okay, here we go.
TV soap opera episodes could very quickly be entirely created by AI soon, director says. Wow. Of course, it's starting in London, but coming to America. BBC soaps, many of you like to watch the soap operas on BBC, could be entirely made by generative artificial intelligence soon, according to the BBC boss. The technology to generate a script and videos in response to a prompt have been heard. And he goes on to say he's worked on TV shows including Doctor Who, Snowpiercer, all these other shows that many of you are familiar with.
Yeah.
He said one of the members that started talking about AI that sent me investigating into how long it would be before a show like Doctors can be made entirely by generative AI. And I took a poll with various FX people, and I then spoke to some of the legal team. It advised SAGRA and the Writers Guild of America, blah, blah, blah. And the best guess is between 3 to 5 years. Somebody will be able to say, create a scene in an ER room where a doctor comes in and he's having an affair with a woman, so they're flirting, and somebody's dying on the table. And this is the president of the BBC talking. And it will start to create it, and you will build those, and it will be generated by AI, and they'll just put it out in the air. And it will be undetectable in 3 to 5
Dear
years.
God. So if they're saying 3 to 5 years, obviously they're either there now or almost there, right?
Yep.
Oh, my.
Well, we got one more news item to show you, but before we do that, let me just tell you one more time that if you'd like to know more about our ministry, if you're brand new here, you go to LarryRagland.com or LarryRagland.tv. Either one, you get a copy of our book, which we was just at the National Religious Broadcasters signing copies of our book, and you can become a partner with us. You can see our submissions to the Epoch Times. We are contributors there. You can watch our TV show, which is going to be very soon all around the world.
Nice.
It's going to be amazing. Hopefully we'll be able to make an announcement next Monday night or very soon. You can get some of our merchandise. We're awake but not woke merchandise, and join our email list. So many things are there on the website that we want you to be a part of. And then the last news article of the night tonight is in the term of robots, or in the discussion of robots. Good old Jeff Bezos. He's trying to go to Mars too. He's trying to go to the moon.
What is his, the blue feather? What is that called?
Not Blue Feather. It's
No, it's not called blue feather, but there's the blue feather. Blue Origin?
Blue Origin. Blue Origin. So the rise of the robots are here. Jeff Bezos and NVIDIA, which, by the way, NVIDIA is the biggest name in AI. It is one of the ones that's creating the generative AI more than anyone. So Jeff Bezos and NVIDIA invest in humanoid robotics startup Figure AI. Now, this is actually the prototypes of them. Jeff Bezos, NVIDIA, and other major technology players have reportedly invested $675 million into what is known as Figure AI, a startup building human-like robots. Its latest funding round carries a roughly $2 billion valuation for the company. Lead investors include Jeff Bezos, committing $100 million, Microsoft, which got its hands in everything, $95 million, NVIDIA and Amazon, both at $50 million, and Parkway Venture Capital with $100 million. He looks a little happy. But here he is. Here's the first one that they've already debuted. And look at his eerie name, Figure 01. So, we've already seen Elon's robot. Now, this is Amazon's robot, and he's known as Figure 01. So that's where it's all going, y'all.
Show this again.
This one or the other one?
So this right here.
Okay.
So we talk about the movie iRobot
Oh, yeah.
a lot
Yep.
here, and we have for a long time because I've seen so many implications. But this is not too terribly far from the image of the robot that was shown in the movie. And we're talking about, we've got to be knocking on the door of 20 years when that movie was released.
Yep.
So, you know, that makes my mind and my wheels of my mind start turning like, yikes.
Yep.
So they knew that back then.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, and that's where it's going. That's where it's all going, y'all. That is where it is going. Sandy, another show is in the books. Another big picture. Guys, last week was the biggest show we've ever had.
Yes, it was.
We're hoping that this week will even be bigger because we are building a worldwide family.
Yes.
We hear from you all over the world. Your comments bless us. We live chat. We read Rumble. We read the live chat here.
Yes.
And all of your notes that you send with us, if you decide to send us a note, whether it be in the mail, whether it be attached to an email, whatever, we thank God for you. We thank God for what you mean to us. You keep us going. You keep us inspired.
Absolutely.
Because we know, look, we're not going to begin to say that what we do is compared to the difficulty of many other things that people have to do in their life. But it is not easy. It is not easy to do this. It's not easy to compile this. It's not easy to be in front of this every week, all these hours that we're in front of the cameras, not just here, but Wednesday night Bible study, Thursday night, breaking news. We enjoy it. Don't get us wrong. We enjoy it. We feel called to do it. But we really do need your prayers, and we really do appreciate your encouragement.
Yes, we do.
Closing
Very
thoughts,
much
baby?
so. Well, another crazy night. Another crazy show. Thank you for hanging with us. As he said, it's not easy. I had to get prayer before we ever started tonight. But God saw us through, and we're thankful.
Yep. And we love you guys. Have a great night.
Yes.
And remember, no matter what, we ain't woke. What? Wait a minute. Who you got?
What?
Who you got? Bring him in here. Bring him in here.
This little guy wanted to come and say goodbye.
He wants to say, we ain't woke. But we are certainly awake. Bye.